So, welcome to our quarter 1, week 7 and 8 lessons, which is focused on electricity. Okay. So, for our main objectives for today, number 1, we will explain the relationship between voltage, resistance, and current in an electrical circuit, including units for each. Okay, number 2, we will predict energy transformations in a circuit using voltage, resistance, and current. Then, number 3, we will compare, contrast, series, and parallel circuits in terms of structures, functions, and changes in each. So take note guys, so let's review those concepts muna para mas maintindihan natin later yung mga terms na makikita natin. So take note guys that everything is made of atom. Alam naman natin yan, di ba? Which contain the positive particles called protons and negative particles called electrons. Right? Ano yung nawawala dyan na particle ng atom? What is the third? Very good, Faith. The neutron. That's the neutral particles. Okay, neutron. Ayan. So, what you see is actually a picture of an atom. Okay. So, we have here the electrons, the one that is moving around. Okay, siya yan. So, we have here the electrons. It is located outside. Then, inside, at the center, we have here the proton, okay, and the neutron. So, at the center of the atom, we have the proton and neutron. So, if we will see that, okay, we can observe that electron is an unstable particle. Siya lang kasi yung gumagalaw, nakakagala, di ba? Okay, fully vaccinated na siguro siya. Yan, kaya siya nakakagalaw freely outside the nucleus. And if you look on proton and neutron, stable lang siya doon sa loob. Naka-quarantine lang siya doon sa loob. Okay, hindi siya pwedeng lumabas. Ayan. So, that's a picture or ayan, a diagram of an atom. Okay. So, we have the electrons, the negative charge, the proton, the positive charge, and the neutron, the neutral charge. So, here, electric charge. So, take note, guys, that objects with opposite charges, one is negative, the other is positive. What will happen? They will attract each other. Okay. Then, if the objects has like charges, parehas, both negative or both positive, they will repel each other. So, that's electric charge. Kapag magkaiba ng charge, they will attract. Pero kapag magkaparehas, they will repel. Okay. So, even electrically neutral objects, so electrically neutral objects siya, nag-gain siya ng electrons. What charge does it now have? Is it positive, negative, or neutral? Okay.
Negative.
Question? Yes, Faith? Faith?
Ma'am, negative po ba?
Guillermo? Okay, let's see. Very good. So once that an electrically neutral object gains, nag-gain pa siya ng electron, okay, that object will have a negative charge. Okay, how about this one? What if an electrically neutral object loses, nawala naman sa kanya si electrons? What charge does it now have? Okay, other hands. Yes, Christiana?
Positive po, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. Yan, very good. So, it will have a positive charge. So, isulat ko lang yung mga nagre-recite, ha? Ayan, so it will now have a positive charge. Okay. Yeah, very good. So, electric charge is given the symbol Q. Ayan, so that's the symbol for electric charge. So, electrons are the charge carriers that flow in an electrical circuit from the negative to positive terminal. Okay, so what's the movement of electrical charges natin? It will start from negative to going to the positive terminals. Okay, kaya nga, di ba mapapansin natin sa battery? Ayan, di ba may nakalagay doon, negative, tapos positive. Di ba? Tapos pagbaliktad yung pagkakalagay mo sa remote natin or whatever, hindi siya gagana. Right? Okay. Yan. Next. So what is electricity? So if that's the case, what is electricity? Any idea? Mga anak? O, review pa lang yun. Okay. Yes, Ira?
Ma'am, ginagamit po natin ito sa daily lives po natin. Kung wala po ito, medyo mahirap po ang buhay.
Okay, very good. So, online class na nga lang natin. Mula sa pagsindi ng laptop, ng tablet, ng cellphone. Ayan, so we need electricity in our daily life. Right? Okay, so that is how important electricity is. Okay, what else? So, scientifically, what electricity? Yes, Matt.
Ma'am, flow of electrical power or charge.
Okay. Do you have an idea? Yes, Beatricia. Thank you, Matt. Yes, Beatricia.
Ma'am, sa lightning, heating, transportation, and communication are all dependent on it po.
Oh, okay. So all of those things are dependent in electricity. Okay, thank you. So, in addition, okay, scientifically, when we say electricity, that's the flow of electrons in a circuit. Okay, so that's, kaya nga siya tinawag na electrons, diba? Electricity. So that's the flow of electricity. And with this, okay, ayan, nakaka-open tayo, nagagamit natin ang ref natin, yan, ang ilaw natin, sa pag-charge ng cellphone natin, ayan, and other things. Okay, so that is electricity. Okay. So, take note, guys, that electrons has a negative charge, right? And it is measured in coulombs. Okay, letter C. Ayan, yung kanyang symbol. Okay, so Q, the unit for Q is coulombs. So, electrons move around a circuit from negative to positive terminal. Okay, take note, kaya bakit hindi Ma'am, nung nilagay ko yung battery dun sa aming remote, hindi siya nagana. Oh, because, remember that like charges repel and opposites attract. Okay, so giving rise to an electric current. Okay. So, in the world of static electricity, ayan, paulit-ulit natin. Okay. Saan na ba yung ating highlighter? Okay, so if you look at that, we have the negative charge and positive charge. They will attract each other. But if we brought negative and negative together, positive and positive together, they will repel. So that's according to our static electricity. So paulit-ulit okay, yung ating repel and attract para maintindihan nating mabuti. So, electricity is the movement of charge around a circuit. We call this, so when there is now a movement in an electrical circuit, that is now what we call electric current. Okay, so did you see the arrows? Did you see the arrow, mga anak? Nakikita nyo ba yung movement ng arrow natin?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, yes. Okay, so what particle of an atom represent the arrow? Yes, John Simon.
Ma'am, electrons.
Okay, very good, John. So, the arrow represents the electrons. Again, so from that, ano na yung movement ng arrow natin? Is it from positive to negative or negative to positive? Okay.
Ma'am, negative to positive.
Oops. Yes, zero.
Negative
Zero.
to positive po.
Okay, very good, zero. So, from negative to positive. Okay, so, if that's the case, there is now a movement of electrons in a circuit. That is what we call electric current. Okay, so the arrow shows the direction of the electrons in a current or in a circuit. Okay, so electric current, we have the so-called static electricity. That's the build-up of charges that pass quickly to another object. O, di ba, pag saksak mo pa lang ng ilaw natin, pag switch pa lang natin, ayan na siya. Right? Okay, pag nakasaksak naman yung electric fan natin, nakalimutan natin i-zero, naka-3, oy, mag-on na siya agad. So, that's the build-up of charges that pass quickly to one another. So, electric current, that's the continuous flow of charges through a conductor. Ayan. So, pag mapakikita natin, yan. Yung nakikita nyong nag-open and close, ano kaya ito sa tingin natin? Balik tayo. Sorry naman. Okay? Ayan, nagloko na siya. May napindot ako, pasensya na. Okay? Escape muna natin. Balikan natin. Ayan. So, kung makikita natin, ano yung nagko-close and open dito? Ayan. Close, then open. Ano sa tingin kaya natin yan? Okay. Other hand, sila-sila na lang ba? Kasi nakalista na yung mga pangalan nyo. Dapat give chance to other. Yes, Edgar. Marcelo. Okay. Si anak ko ay babae. So, gumamit lang siya ng other Gmail account. Okay. Yes, anak. Kanino si Edgar Marcelo? Yes. Anong name mo, anak? Open mo yung mic mo, anak.
Ma'am Roslyn M. Godoy po.
Ay, si Roslyn. Yes, anak, Roslyn. Makikita natin dun sa current natin, may nag-open and close. Ano kaya yun? Ano sa tingin mo? Ano kaya yan, anak? Ginagamit natin yan pag gusto nating patayin yung ilaw. Ay, gusto ko nang i-on yung ilaw. Ano ba yung pinipindot natin? Roslyn. Okay. Ayan na. May nag-chat niya, Roslyn. So, Sofia Palapus. So, hinelp mo si Roslyn. Very good, Sofia. Switch. Okay, alam mo na, Roslyn? Anong tawag natin doon ulit, Roslyn? Switch. Okay, so that's the switch. Ngayon, if you look at that, kapag naka-open yung switch, tignan nyo pag naka-open, yan. Okay, anong nangyayari dun sa flow of electrons? Nag-i-stop ba? Very good, nag-i-stop siya. Pero pag naka-close, okay, yan.
Nagpo-continuous po ng flow.
Nagko-continue yung kanyang movement. Okay. So, saan ang on tsaka off dyan? Pag sinabi natin naka-on, i-on mo nga yung ilaw. Naka-close ba o naka-open yung switch natin? Yung circuit natin. Okay, other hands, kapag Jane de la Cruz. Pag sinabi natin kindly on.
Open.
Open ba? Pag naka-on? Yes, Jarel, naka-on. I-on mo yung...
Na po yung yung answer, yung question.
Okay. When will you say that the switch is turned on? Pag close ba yung circuit natin or open yung circuit natin? Naka-on.
Close.
Very good. Naka-close. Yan. So, pag naka-close ang circuit natin, naka-on siya. Pero pag open, naka-off yung switch natin kasi hindi dadaloy yung ating electrons. Okay. So, that's electric current. Okay, next. So, electric current is given the symbol I. Take note of that. I, ang kanyang symbol. So, electric current is the movement of negative charges in a circuit. Okay? So, electricity is the flow of electrons. Paulit-ulit tayo dyan. Charges, we are talking about the negative flow from high voltage areas to low voltage areas. So, if that's the case, saan mas high ang voltage natin? Sa positive o sa negative? High ang voltage. Okay, sige na nga, Christiana.
Negative po, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So, higher ang voltage natin sa negative terminal. Going to the lower voltage, which is the positive terminal. Okay. So, voltage is like electrical pressure that pushes and pulls charges from negative to positive. Okay. And we have here the so-called voltage difference. So, ano ang voltage difference? So, that's the push or pull that causes charges to move and it is measured in V or yung tinatawag nating volts. V or volts. So, voltage is created by a chemical cell, yan, a battery, when it changes chemical energy to electrical energy. Okay, so battery ang tawag natin doon. Or, it is created by a generator when it changes mechanical energy to electrical energy. Ayun, so that is the two-way how voltage is created. Okay, may ika-third pa tayo. Through solar cell. Yung marami nang gumagamit sa atin dyan, yung mga solar panel, solar cell na sinasabi nila. So, That's the changes. It changes naman light energy to electrical energy. So those are the samples on how voltage is created. It depends on the energy transformation. Kapag chemical to electrical, that's through battery. Okay? Kapag mechanical to electrical, that's through generator. Okay? Kapag light to electrical, solar cell naman. Okay. So voltage or PD is measured in volts. Okay? So volts ang kanyang units. So it is given the symbol V. So next. So if we will compare voltage and current, yan. So what's the relationship between the two? So when a wire connects the terminal of a battery or generator, then the voltage will push and pull electrons through a conductor. Okay, ano yung nagsisilbing conductor natin? Dun sa electricity natin? Electrical wire natin? Sino yung nag-serve as our conductor? Dun sa, very good, yung wire. Okay? Saan gawa yung wire natin? Yung electrical wire natin? Saan kaya siya gawa? Yung electric wire natin?
Ma'am, copper ata po.
Okay, yan. Copper wire. Okay, so one terminal, thank you, Ira. So one terminal has extra electrons, thus a negative charge. So the other terminal has a deficit of electrons and thus a positive charge. So pag mas madami yung electrons niya, negative charge siya. Pag kokonti, yung kanyang electron, mas madami yung positive, so positive charge siya. Okay, electrons in the wire are pushed by the negative terminal and pulled by the positive terminal through the wire. Okay, so the amount of electrical energy the electrons have at any point in a circuit is known as the so-called potential. Okay? As they move the electrons, transfer energy into other forms. Okay? This means at any 2 points, the electrons has the different amount of energy. Okay? So what has potential difference got to do with the voltage? Yan. It is the same thing. Paano kaya yun? Ayan. So the potential difference or the PD or voltage, parehas lang yan. Okay? Of a battery is measured of the electrical energy given to 1 coulomb of charge passing through the battery. So, tignan natin to. So, a 9 voltage battery will give how much energy to each coulomb of charge passing through the battery. So, ilang PD? If we have 9 volts of battery, ilan kaya ang PD? Or potential difference niya, ang equivalent ng 9 volts. O, di ba sabi natin kanina, they are the same. So, if that's the case, 9 volts, meron din siyang 9 coulomb or 9 joule. Yung potential difference niya. Okay, paano kapag meron tayong 1.5 battery? Meron din siyang 1.5 joule. Ayan. So, potential difference is equal to voltage. Okay, 1.5 joules naman. Kung 220 volts, so ilan ang kanyang potential difference? Kung 220 volts. Okay, yes, Sophia.
20 po.
Okay, 220 din. So, parehas sila. Okay, next, let's proceed to the so-called resistance. Okay? So, resistance, that's the tendency naman for a material to oppose the flow of electrons. Ayan, so, kumbaga, kung sa force sana, siya naman si friction. Right? Sa electricity, siya naman si friction. Bakit? Siya yung nag-o-oppose dun sa flow of electrons. Okay. And resistance is measured in ohms. Ayan. And the symbol for ohms is, ayan, nakikita nyo naman. So, changes electrical energy into thermal energy and light. So, siya yung may kagagawan doon. So, resistance is the changes of electrical energy into thermal energy or light. Example, doon sa light bulb filaments natin. So, bakit siya umiilaw, di ba? Kasi nga, okay, from electrical, kino-convert niya into thermal, then into light. So, that's the work of our light bulb filament. Okay, so what affects resistance? Ito yung mga factor natin. Length. So, kapag yung wire natin mas maigsi, mas less yung resistance niya. Pag mas mahaba, mas greater yung kanyang resistance. Okay? Next, yung ating cross-section area, yung diameter niya. So, pag mas mataba, mas less yung kanyang resistance. Pag mas manipis, mas greater yung resistance. Okay, next. How about sa material? Copper. Comparing copper and aluminum. Okay. So, pag copper, mas less yung resistance niya. So, kaya nga, mostly, okay, widely, talagang yun yung ginagamit natin as electrical wire, yung copper. Right? Kasi mas less yung kanyang resistance. So, sa aluminum, mas greater yung resistance niya. Pero parang wala pa ako naririnig na aluminum ang ginamit dun sa electric wires natin. Then, pagdating naman sa temperature natin, okay, ang copper kasi, kumbaga, mas malamig o hindi siya mas malamig siya. So, less resist. Tama ba ako? Ayan. So, sa temperature natin, less ang resistance kapag mas mababa yung temperature. Okay, greater ang mas mababa. Tama. Okay, greater ang resistance kapag mas mataas ang temperature. Okay, so those are the effects or the following factors that affects resistance. Okay, so mas maganda yung mas maigsi, mas mataba, then copper at low ang temperature. Okay, next. Yan. So, varying resistance. So, the opposition to current or resistance of a material measured in ohm, right? It depends on the type of material. Take note of that. The better the conductor, the lower the resistance. So, pag mas maganda yung conductor natin, mas mahina yung resistance. Ibig sabihin, pag mas mahina yung resistance, mas maganda yung flow ng electrons. Yung ating flow ng energy natin, flow of electrons, mas maganda. Okay? So, the length of material, the longer the material, the higher the resistance. Okay? So, mas maganda pag shorter para less ang resistance. Sa thickness naman of material, the thinner the material, the higher the resistance. So, mas maganda naman yung thicker. Okay. Temperature of material, the higher the temperature, the higher the resistance. Okay, so, and vice versa. So, control the flow. So a voltage difference causes the charges to flow. Flow of charges, or yung tinatawag nating current, or ang unit for current is ampere or A. Electrical resistance restricts the movement of charges. Take note of that. So resistance, the higher the resistance, the slower the current. Mas mabagal. Pag mas mataas, greater ang resistance, mas mabagal ang current natin. Then, mas mataas ang pressure, mas mataas ang current. Okay, so comparing resistance and current, they are indirectly proportional or inversely proportional. Comparing the relationship of pressure and current, they are directly proportional. Okay, so that's voltage difference. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag dito na Ohm's Law. So it states that current is directly proportional to voltage difference and inversely proportional to resistance. So magko-compute lang tayo, konti lang, madali lang. Okay? So here we have current is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So kung i-rearrange natin yan, we have voltage is equivalent to current times resistance multiplied with resistance rather. So I, that's for current, okay, measured in amperes. V for voltage, measured in volts. And R, resistance, measured in ohms. Okay, para hindi tayo malito, we will be using the triangle method para madali nyo matandaan. So, V yung nasa taas, si I at saka R ang nasa baba. Diba? Kapag magkatabi sila, okay, the operation will be multiplication. So, V, okay, pag V ang hinahanap natin, we will multiply current and resistance. Right? What if nawawala naman si R, si resistance? Ano ang equation natin?
Ma'am, V divided by I.
Very good, Matt. Paano kapag si current ang nawawala? Anong equation natin?
Ma'am, V divided by R.
Okay, very good. So that is the equations to be used when we are computing or finding for voltage, current, and resistance. O, diba? Madali lang. Okay, so let's apply those formulas. So, nakikita ba? Pakibasa mo nga. Sophia, our sample problem number 1. Sophia. Sophia Samantha. Will you read our problem? Kita ba, anak? Malabo? Okay. Medyo choppy siguro si Sophia. Ayan. Sige, Ira, volunteer. Okay, go, Ira.
A water heater has a resistance of 22 ohms connected to a 220 voltage source. What is the needed current to operate the heater?
Okay, so that is our problem. So, kapag nag-recite nga kayo, paki-open na rin yung inyong yung inyong camera para makita ko kayo mga anak. Ayan. So, what are the given in the problem? Yes, Matt. Open cam, open mic. Yes,
Ma'am,
Matt.
Ma'am, open mic lang.
Nahihiya sila. Sige na nga. So, what are the given, Matt?
Ma'am, given resistance and voltage.
Okay, so the given are the resistance, which is 22 ohm, and voltage. So we are finding for current. Correct. So what's the equation?
Ma'am,
Yes.
20 divided by 22 equals 10. 10 is the current.
Okay, very good, Matt. Ang galing, na-answeran niya agad, ano? Okay, so our current will be 10 ampere. Right? Okay, so ang dali-dali lang. I-divide lang natin si voltage kay resistance. Dahan-dahan lang daw, sabi ni Dennis, nagko-compute pa siya. Sige. Okay. I-double check natin kung tama. Si math or yung computation natin. So we have 220 divided by 22. Ayan, tama nga. 10 ampere. Okay, next problem. Kayo lang. So, tama. Very good. Sabayan nyo kami. Sabayan nyo ako mag-compute sa sample problem number 2. I will be the one to read. Mag-compute kayo for 30 seconds. Kaya ba yan? Then, let's reveal the answer later kung tama ang sagot nyo. So, motorcycle starter motor needs 40.0 ampere to operate with a resistance of 0.150 ohms. What is the needed voltage to start the motor? Go.
Ma'am, 6.
Okay. Math, 6 daw. Double check nyo kung tama siya.
Ma'am, 6 din sa akin.
Okay, 6. So, sir, pa natin. Math, Faye, key in your answer. Althea, first 5. Key in your answer. First 5. 0. And Maria. Okay. Sige. Lahat na nag-key in. May plus points na. Check. Lance. Yan. Sige. Rainy, Pia, Maria, Kurt, Kazi. Time's up. Okay. Yes, Ira?
Ma'am, can I have the formula po ulit po, ma'am? Nawawala po kasi ako.
Ay, okay. So, ito yung formula. Balikan natin. V, ayan, triangle method, Ira, para madali nating maintindihan siya. Sa pagkuha ng equation, V nasa taas, IR nasa baba. Get?
Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay, welcome, anak. So, tignan natin kung tama yung mga sagot nila. Matt, Faye, Althea, Jiro, Lance, Regine. Ayan, check ko na lang to sa comment ba. Sa sobrang bilis ko, naging doctor yung sulat ko. So, unknown, equation natin, VIR. So, we will multiply current and resistance. So, 40 times 0.150 ohms, correct. That will be 6 volts. Ang gagaling nila. This time, sample problem number 3, first 5 only. Okay, ready, set, go. Consider a simple electric circuit with a voltage source of 20 volts, which has a current of 0.500 ampere. What is the resistance of the load?
Ma'am,
Go.
40.
Okay, Matt, number 1. Check natin. Jiro, Faith, Jancel, Sophia, time's up. Okay, first 5 tayo. 1, 2. Sige, key-in nyo lang kung tama yung mga sagot. Ayan, Dennis, Isaiah, okay, Syla, Jasmine, 40. Check natin. Okay, let's reveal the answer. Edgar, Lance, Ira, okay, Kurt, Cassie, ayan, Rainy, J-Real, Jane. Okay, time is up. So we have the given V, 20, and I, 500. 0.500, sorry. Unknown, R. Equation for R is V divided by I. Okay, so 20 volts divided by 0.500 ampere. So we have 40 ohms. Correct. Diba? Okay, so that is how we compute for current, voltage, and resistance. Madali lang o mas madali? Pinakamadali. Okay. Okay, so that is how we compute the following equations. Okay, next. So, let's proceed now to our next lesson. Okay? Kaya pa ba, mga anak? May klase ba kayo after this? Idiretso ko na. Week 8 na to. Palit daw kayo ng utak. Okay lang. Sabayan nyo kami. Kaya ba, anak? May klase ba kayo after this? Wala. Okay, so diretso na natin para next week, may time kayo to complete your incompletes. Complete, ano pa bang i-incomplete? Ano? Iko-complete. Ayan, so let's proceed. Okay? Through 2 electric circuit. Week 8 na ito. So, take note of that. Let's review what is a circuit. That's the closed loop path of conduction through which an electric current flows. Okay, we learned that in the previous lesson. So, there are 2 types of electric circuit. We have the series and parallel circuit. Okay, now from the picture, mga anak, can you see the difference between series and parallel connections? From that, ano yung napansin natin? Ira.
Ma'am, dalawa po yung connector po ng parallel, tas iisa lang po series.
Okay, correct, Ira. So if you look at that, di ba? Yung daanan ng electrons natin, yung path ng electrons, di ba? Diyan dadaan yung electrons natin eh. Iisa lang yung path natin. Pero kay parallel, merong isa, meron pang pangalawang path. Okay, hindi kasi nakita yung gumagalaw na EN, hindi siya nakita, nag-hide siya. Okay, correct, Ira. Yan. So, we have here electrical connections. So, kung mapapansin natin, si series and parallel. Series has only one path. Parallel has 2 or more paths. Okay. So, series circuits are circuits with only one pathway through which electrons can flow. Ayan. So, what are the benefits of series? It uses less amount of wires. Kasi nga, iisa lang yung daanan, di ba? So, tipid tayo sa wires. Yan, less amount of wires. Second, if you want a warning that one of the components in the circuits has failed, then a series circuit is used. So, makikita mo kasi, mas madali mong makita kung mayroong, kumbaga kung mayroong sira yung circuit mo. Kasi isa lang yung daanan. Once na napundi yung isang ilaw, lahat sila pundi. Di ba? Okay. So, that's the benefit. So, madali mo siyang makita. Okay. Then, how about parallel circuit? Parallel circuits are circuits with more than one pathway, 2 or more pathway, through which electrons can flow. So, what are the benefits? Parallel circuits are useful if you want everything to work, even one component has failed. So, kung gusto mong magamit pa rin yung iba, kahit sira na yung isa, ayan, kay parallel ka pumunta o gumamit. So, to sum it up, ayan, so sa series circuits natin, again, there is only one path for current. While in parallel, there will be a multiple paths for current, either 2 or more paths. Okay. Current is the same at every point. Okay, yung current daw natin, okay, kung 20 ampere, at tama ba? 20 ampere sa kabila current, okay? 20 ampere lahat. Okay? Kung may tatlo tayong bulb, let's say 60 ampere yung nilagay natin, so tagsi 60 sila. The same every point. 60 si bulb 1, 60 si bulb 2, 60 si bulb 3. Okay. Samantalang sa parallel circuit, current can be different in each branch. Magkakaiba. Pwede nilang paghati-hatian kasi yun. Kung 60 ampere, tagto 20 sila. O, ganon. Okay. Voltage drop at each resistor. Okay, so, bawat isa. While in parallel, voltage same across each resistance. Okay. Break-in circuit sa series stops all current. So, pag may nasirang isa, lahat sila pundi. Napundi si isa, tatlo sila, pundi na lahat. While in parallel, it does not affect the other bulb. Kung napundi yung isa, gumagana pa yung dalawa. Okay? Then, in series, adding resistance in series decreases total current. Nagdidim yung light. Okay? While, in parallel, adding resistance in parallel increases total current. Ganun pa rin yung kanyang liwanag. Okay, so that's a summative difference of series and parallel. Okay? So, let's test kung talagang naiintindihan nyo. So, what type of circuit are shown in the following example? Is it parallel or series? Okay, Ira.
Ma'am, series po.
Okay, bakit series, Ira?
Ma'am, kasi lahat po sila nakakonect at wala na pong ibang wirings po.
Okay, check natin. Ay, parang mali ito. Tama ka, Ira. That must be series. Kasi there is only one path. O, mali lang ako ng
parallel yung line ng conductor.
yung conduct. Ayun kasi, kung titignan lang natin yung wire, yan, kasi series siya. Pero dahil hindi pala nailagay ng red din dapat to. Kung maglalagay pa tayo ng conductor, conductor wire dito sa gitna, ganyan, okay, pwede siyang parallel. Thank you, Matt. Pero pag wala itong conductor wire dito sa gitna, series siya. Okay? Next. Home lighting. Yan, yung lamp natin. Ano yan? Yung ginagamit natin sa bahay ng mga lamp, kung may lamp tayo. Parallel or series? Okay. Yes, Denise.
Ma'am, series po.
Okay. Yan, anak. Pag iisa lang, okay, yung nilagay natin, pag napundi na yung isa, pundi na lahat, okay, series. Pero kapag magkakaiba yung kanilang pinaglagyan, okay, kahit pinatay mo na yung isang lamp mo, umiilaw pa yung iba, parallel. So, mas maganda siya sa parallel. Okay? Next, how about this one? Okay, yes, Ira?
Ma'am, series po.
Okay, tingnan natin. Ayan, series. Ang liwa-liwanag niya, series lang siya. Okay, how about this one? May iisa lang yung Christmas light natin. Okay, series. Correct. Pero ngayon, parang meron na din silang mayroon na ring ibang klase ng Christmas light natin na parallel, 'di ba? Kahit mapundi na yung isang kulay, kung kunyari tatlong kulay, yung isang kulay naka-series. Pero kung tatlong kulay 'yon, tag-isa sila, naka-parallel na rin yung iba. But in this case, sa picture, series. Okay? Yan, ang Christmas light, series dyan, sa part na yan. Okay, yan. How about sa security system natin? Okay, anong mas maganda? Ano yan? Series or parallel? Okay. Other? Yes, Ira?
Ma'am, series po. Ma'am.
Ayan, series. Dapat series siya.
Series?
Ano? Okay, correct. Series. Kapag sa mga security system natin. Ayan. Next, how about yung car headlights natin? Headlights 1, headlights 2, back, ay headlights sa harap lang pala, no? 1 and 2. Ayan, ano yan? Ano siya mas maganda? Parallel or series? Yes, John Simon.
Ma'am, parallel.
Okay, correct, John. Parallel. Ayan, so very good. Naintindihan nyo ang difference ng series and parallel. Okay, let's continue. Lesson week 8B. Okay, but before that, self-check muna tayo. Again, okay, just raise your hand. What is the flow of electrons called? O, sino yung mga yan? Hindi ko kasi makita lahat eh. Okay. Sino yung dalawa? Hindi open queue natin. Okay, Tara. Yes, Tara.
Ma'am, electricity.
Check natin. Correct. Sulat natin si Tara. Okay, very good, Tara. Next, number 2. What is the SI unit of current? SI unit of current? Q. Yes, Denise. Yes, Denise.
Ampere.
Okay, correct. Ampere. Next, what is the continuous flow of charges through a conductor called? Zero.
Ma'am, current po.
Okay, electric, current, or current, correct. Zero. Okay, next, what do you call the electrical pressure that pushes and pulls charges? Okay, again, zero.
Ma'am, voltage po.
Correct, zero, voltage. Next question, what is the SI unit of voltage? Okay, other hands, please. The same, John Simon. Siya kasi nauna eh. John Simon?
Ma'am, volt.
Correct. Volt or volts. Next, what is the tendency? Okay, wait. Sulat ko lang siya. What is the tendency for a material to oppose the flow of electrons? John Simon.
Ma'am, resistance.
Correct. Resistance. Next. Oh, gagaling nila. Go. Yan, talagang nakikinig sila sa klase natin kanina. Very good. Yes, Matt. Di ko pa nababasa.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ohms.
Ohm or ohms. Correct, Matt. Next, what happens to the current in a circuit when resistance increases? Increase. Okay. Yes, Ira. Nauna.
Ma'am, increase po.
Ox must be decreased. Di ba indirectly
Ma'am,
proportional?
inversely po sila.
Ayun, correct. Inversely proportional sila. Okay, take note of that. So, it must be decreased. What happens to the current and voltage? So, current voltage naman
Ma'am,
tayo.
increases.
Okay, very good. Sino yon, Matt?
Ma'am, maths.
Okay, very good. Math. Okay, next. Ay, wala na. Nabitin ako doon. Congratulations, mga anak. It seems that you really understand our lesson for today. So, idiretso na natin. Ayan. So, here are some of our household electrical safety. Okay, aside sa mga nandyan sa inyong mga modules. Okay? So, in a house, many appliances draw current for the same circuit, right? So, take note that if more appliances are connected to a circuit, more current will flow through the wires. So, pag maraming nakasaksak doon, mas madaming current yung mag-flow dun sa wire natin. So, more current in wires, more heating in wires. Mas madaming appliances ang nakasaksak doon sa iisang saksakan, mas mabilis uminit. Pag nagkataon, mas prone sa sunog. Kaya dapat iwasan natin yan. So, more heat causes insulation on wires to melt, which increases chances of wire. Yung tinatawag nilang octopus wiring, mga like that. Ayan, so iwasan natin. Okay? So, to protect a house from this, all household circuits have. Letter A, dapat meron tayong fuse na tinatawag natin. Or, kasi, nung una kasi, ang pinaka-common natin yung fuse, yung tinataas at saka binababa lang natin ganyan. Okay? Pero ngayon, meron na tayong circuit breaker. Okay. Familiar ba tayo sa circuit breaker, anak? Familiar? Ayan.
Yes.
Ayan. Ito yung ating circuit breaker. So, meron na tayo silang tagi-isa na mga parang fuse. Okay? So, when we say fuse, that's a small piece of metal that melts if the current becomes too high. Okay? Then, circuit breaker, it contains a small piece of metal that bends when it gets hot. Bending causes switch to flip and opens the circuit. Ito kasi ang kagandahan, anak, ng circuit breaker na ngayon, once na nagkaroon ng kumbaga malfunction sa kahit na anong appliances natin, nagkaroon ng short circuit, kusang nag-off na yung ating circuit breaker. Kusa siyang nag-open yung circuit natin, nag-close, nag-off. Ayan, para maiwasan natin yung sunog. Okay, so that is our circuit breaker. Okay, so ganun lang kabilis. So that ends our lesson for this quarter. Quarter 1. So, any question mga anak? Or any additional information? Any additional information regarding household electrical safety? So, if we will compare, balikan natin si series and parallel bago tayo mag-end. So, sa bahay, anong mas magandang gamitin? Series ba or parallel?
Ma'am, series. Para mas matipid. Kuryente.
Ayan. So,
Ng parallel.
Ang parallel po.
ayan. Kung tipid ng kuryente daw, tipid sa wire, kasi nga maliit lang yung wire, series. Pero, kapag gusto natin, gusto mo anak, pag naka-off yung light, nanonood ka ng TV, gusto mong patayin yung light, mamamatay din yung TV mo, naka-series eh. Gusto mo ba yan? Or,
Sasayang din ng kuryente.
oo nga, or parallel. Anong mas maganda? Okay?
Parallel po, ma'am. Parallel po.
Bakit parallel? Both. So, in some instances, pwedeng series ang gamitin natin. Pwede ding parallel. So, in what way na kailangan natin ay series? Kailan natin pwedeng gamitin si series?
Ma'am, Christmas light.
Ayan, sa Christmas light. Very good. How about pag parallel naman? Anong maganda? Bakit magandang gamitin naman ang parallel sa bahay?
Ma'am, sa
Buong household.
Yes, Ira?
sa mga appliances po.
Ayan, sa ilaw at appliances. Correct. Kung gusto natin ang nakailaw lang ay sa labas, naka-close lahat ng ilaw sa loob, pwedeng parallel, di ba? Ang gusto lang natin isindi ay sa CR, naka-close yung sa kusina, sa sala, sa kwarto. Ayan, parallel. Okay, so anyway, dalawa sila. May kanya-kanya naman silang benefits, right? It depends kung paano natin sila gagamitin at kung saan natin sila gagamitin. Okay, so that ends our topic. Any question in relation to our lesson?